You know, when we think about intelligence, we usually think about test scores, right? Or big achievements. But what if there's a whole other kind of intelligence? One that's built for a world that doesn't always play by the rules. The source material for this explainer outlines 8 traits of what it calls dark intelligence. And today, we're going to dive into the 4 foundational traits that really unlock all the others. So let's just start with a fundamental truth. A tough one. The world never plays fair. It's just not how it works. No matter how honest you are, someone might still betray you. No matter how good you are at your job, someone less qualified might get that promotion. And you know what? That's just reality. And the very first step to navigating that reality is to accept it. And this leads to a really powerful metaphor for how to operate. See, most people play the game of life like it's checkers. They just react. Someone makes a move, they make a move back. It's all emotion, all impulse. But there's another way to play. You can play chess, and that means thinking ahead, watching, planning, and moving with real strategic intelligence, not just raw emotion. So this is our core concept today, dark intelligence. And let's be super clear about this. The name sounds intense, but it is not about being evil, not at all. It's about the strength you build from getting knocked down, from pain, from being let down. It's what happens when, while everyone else is shouting and reacting, you're the one listening. While they're getting angry, you're calculating your next move. It's a tool for self-protection, not for destruction. Okay, so how do you actually build this? Well, we're going to start with the first set of traits, and these are all about mastering your own internal world. It all starts with getting control over your own mind, long before you can ever influence what's happening outside of you. First up is trait number 1, the principle of detachment. Now, this is a big one, and it's so often misunderstood, but it's a massive source of power. All it really means is this: whatever you are not afraid to lose cannot control you. And yeah, this quote from Machiavelli, it sounds pretty harsh, right? But the source material interprets this as being about strategic freedom. Think about it. The fear of losing something, a job, a relationship, someone's approval, that fear makes you weak. It makes you easy to manipulate. But when you detach from that desperate need for a certain outcome, you suddenly become free. Imagine this. 2 people are in a negotiation. Person A is thinking, I have to get this deal. I need it. Their power level? It's low because they're desperate. Now person B, they want the deal for sure, but they are completely and totally willing to walk away if it's not right. So who has all the power in that room? It's person B, every single time. Their detachment is their ultimate strength. All right, trait number 2 builds right on top of this. It's called the adaptive persona. And again, this isn't about being fake or inauthentic, it's about being effective. You already do this all the time without thinking. I mean, you talk to your grandma differently than you talk to your best friend, right? This is just about making that same adaptation intentional and strategic. The key word from Machiavelli here is appear. He's not telling you to lie. He's saying you need to adjust your presentation to fit the situation. If you're talking to someone who's really analytical, you bring them data. If they're more emotional, you connect on that level. It's not deceitful, it's just communication intelligence. I love this metaphor. Be like water, not a rock. Think about it. Water can be mist, it can be ice, it can be a raging river. It takes the shape of whatever container it's in, but it never stops being water. Your core values, who you are, that's your substance. That doesn't change. But your communication style, your shape, that can and absolutely should adapt to be effective. All right, so once you start getting that internal control locked down, you can begin to shape the board. These next couple of traits are all about influencing your environment and, maybe more importantly, how other people see you. Which brings us to trait number 3, calculated opacity. I know, it sounds a little fancy, but here's what it means. In a world where everyone overshares everything, a little bit of strategic mystery is a superpower. It's not about lying. It's just about understanding you don't have to lay all your cards on the table at once. You only reveal what's necessary. And Machiavelli just nails it here. When people only know part of your story, you know what happens? Their own minds get to work filling in the blanks. And that curiosity they feel, that creates interest. And interest leads to influence. You stay in control of the story because you haven't given it all away for free. So think of it like this. Your personal information is a kind of currency. Don't just spend it all in one place. For example, if someone asks what you're doing this weekend, saying, "Oh, I'm just staying home," is fine. It's transparent. But it's also forgettable. But what if you say, "I have something important to take care of"? Now suddenly you're intriguing. Your words carry more weight. And that leads us to our fourth foundational trait for today, silent leverage. We tend to think that power has to be loud, right? Making demands, raising your voice. But real, lasting power, it whispers. It's about building influence without ever having to say a word. Now, this quote about danger might seem a little random here, but think about it this way. In a world that screams for instant results, playing the long game, positioning yourself quietly, and being patient, that is a bold and dangerous strategy. And that quiet patience, that's its own kind of calculated risk. So how do you actually do this? Well, in a conversation, don't be so quick to fill every silence. A thoughtful pause before you answer gives your words gravity. In a negotiation, your real strength comes from the alternatives you have that you don't even need to bring up. You see, you don't demand respect. You become so valuable, so indispensable that people just give it to you, willingly. Okay, and this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important point of this entire explainer. This knowledge comes with a huge responsibility. It's about using this power with a purpose. Because let's be real, knowledge without application is completely worthless. You can learn about these traits all day long, but how you actually practice them, that's what defines you. The goal here is not to become a manipulator. It's to become someone who can't be manipulated. So, I'm going to leave you with a simple challenge. Just pick one of these traits, whichever one resonated with you the most, detachment, opacity, whatever. And for the next 7 days, just consciously practice it. Notice what changes. And always, always remember step 3. Use it to protect yourself and create better outcomes. Never, ever to harm someone else. Because in the end, this isn't just about getting ahead or gaining power over your life. True intelligence, real intelligence, is about using your understanding of how the world works to serve something bigger than just yourself. It's about being strategically wise, not just tactically clever. And so, that leaves us with this one last question. The most powerful person in any room isn't the loudest one. It's the one who understands human nature and uses that knowledge for good. So after thinking about all this, which kind of person do you choose to be?